Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. It's your boy King Hebrew coming to you live with another video. Giving you, of course, all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh. By Hashem Mashiach, Malaki Yahushai. All glory, honor, and praises to the Lord for waking us up in this truth, giving us the opportunity to keep the commandments, giving us the privilege and the luxury to keep these commandments in the high holy days during these last days. Now, as you see with the title, I'm doing a Geopolitics 101. China looking to take over leading up to World War 3. Right, so we're going to bring up some articles. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but we're going to work through the power and the spirit of Yahushua. Right, we're going to operate through the spirit of Yahushua. Right. Let me get my preset real quick before we get started. Alright, we're going to start with the book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 9. Let's share this real quick. Alright, it's the book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Verse 10. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. Right? So the Lord said there's a lot of war going on, if you guys don't know, between Iran and Israel, China and Taiwan, and Russia and Ukraine, man. So it's a lot of wars going on. A lot of stuff going on, right? So let's get the first one. Now, let's see what I want first. Right, this article kind of sparked my attention. And this is actually a part 2 to a video that I did prior, Geopolitics 101, dealing with China and Taiwan. Right, China and Taiwan are going at it, and the U.S. are looking to support Taiwan. They're looking to support Taiwan and help Taiwan in getting their independence from China. Right. But this article was out. The U.S. announces diplomatic boycott of China 2022 Olympics. Right? Here's what that means, right? So White House Secretary Jen Psaki said on Monday afternoon, not this Monday, but this is about I got this article about 2 weeks ago, that the U.S. will be holding a diplomatic boycott of the 2022 Olympics in China. The Biden administration will not send any diplomatic or official representation to the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics and Paralympic Games, given the People's Republic of China's ongoing genocide and crimes against humanity in Xinjiang and other human rights abuses, Psaki said. Right? We will not be contributing to the fanfare of the games, Psaki said. U.S. diplomatic or official representation will treat these games as business as usual in the face of the PRC's egregious human rights abuses and atrocities in Xinjiang, and we simply can't do that. Now, of course, being hypocrites, you know what I'm saying, they want to point the finger at China, right? Not wanting to look at themselves in the mirror and refuse to talk about the unjust atrocities, right, against humanity here in Babylon the Great, man, right? The city of confusion, lying to the people, manipulating the people, right? And these people are hypocrites, right? Right? These people are hypocrites. To say that China's doing this and that, first of all, China has more authority and equity. They have more authority here in the U.S. than anybody else, right? Everything comes from China, iPhones, clothes, and all that. And we're gonna get into all that later. But to point finger at China for this, and that, without further going over and reviewing the unrighteous atrocities against human rights, right, here in the U.S., and we're talking about the Hebrew Israelites, man, the blacks and Hispanic and Native Americans, man, right? And we've been lied to, and we've been manipulated to believe that we are to keep only 10 commandments. We've been lied to about who our Savior really looks like, right? So these are, again, we're fighting against principalities, man, right? We're fighting against those, like it says in Romans 1:25. They changed the God of truth into a lie, but they don't want to deal with that. Instead, they want to make you, they want to, they're implying to you that China is the bad guy. They've done this and they've done that, right? China is all up and down this place, man, doing what the hell they want, making billions and trillions of dollars. Making billions of dollars. Nike, clothes, iPhones, I mean, you name it. PS4s, all type. Bro, come on, bro. Right? Let's get a hypocritical nation. Book of Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 6. I will send him against a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge, to take the spoil and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mere of the streets. So when the Lord said in Deuteronomy 28:68, we were gonna be sold to our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, we were sold against a hypocritical nation, right? Hold on. Now this is going to the Assyrians, right? Right, and they take our prey, they take our spoil, and they tread us down in the streets, right? We're being always harassed, right? They always take taxes from us, right? They're always killing us. They're always taking our children, right? You got DCF and stuff like that. So we were sent to a hypocritical nation, right, as a punishment, man. You feel me? Right. Earlier on Monday, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Lijian said such a boycott will be a outright political provocation and accused the U.S. of grandstanding, but did not describe how China will respond. Without being invited, American politicians keep hyping the so-called diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Winter Olympics, which is purely wishful thinking and grandstanding. Zhou told reporters at a press briefing, if the U.S. side is bent on going its own way, China will take firm countermeasures. See that? And this was their response. Look, China threatens Biden administration. U.S. will pay. Wait and see. Now this is the president, right? This is the president, Xi Jinping, right? See, China threatened the United States on Tuesday over the Biden administration's diplomatic boycott of the 2022 Olympics in Beijing, warning that the U.S. will pay for its action. Right? You read that part about why the U.S. didn't do it. It says the move prompted Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Lijian to issue the threatening response during a press conference on Tuesday. The U.S. will pay a price for its erroneous actions. You may wait and see. Zhao accused the Biden administration of fabricating the biggest lie of the century about what he characterized as the so-called genocide in Xinjiang, which he said has been debunked. Right? And again, if you guys pay attention, you guys gotta understand, when the Lord said he was gonna send us to a hypocritical nation, right? After, besides everything I just told you about what goes on here in Babylon, you guys can't forget about the Indian Removal Act that was passed by Andrew Jackson in 1830, which was basically a genocide against the Native Americans who already colonized this land. Right? Let's get the Indian Removal Act. Right? And this is how they ended up taking over certain land here, because we all know that the Native Americans, which come from the tribe of Gad and Reuben, right? They were already in this land. So let's get the introduction. The Indian Removal Act, and another word for removal in Esau's terms means kill. To be removed is to kill. So technically, this would be called the Indian Genocide Act, right? The Indian Removal Act was signed into law by President Andrew Jackson on May 28, 1830, authorizing the president to grant lands west of the Mississippi in exchange for Indian lands within existing state borders. A few tribes. Notice how it said right here, a few tribes went peacefully but many resisted the relocation policy. During the fall and winter of 1838 and 1839, the Cherokees were forcibly moved west by the United States government. Approximately 4,000 Cherokees died on this forced march, which became known as the Trail of Tears. See that? So the tribe of Gad and Reuben, they were forced from the land that the Lord gave them. They were forced out of their own land, right? And about 4,000 Cherokees died. Right? Let's get it real quick. Trying to find a good chart so I can show y'all. Bro, there's no damn. Let me see if I can find it. See if I have it. Salaki. See if I can pull it up. Let's see if I have. Alright, so we have it right here, right? Right? We got the Native American Indians. They come from the tribe of Gad. See that? We have the tribe of Gad and the tribe of Reuben. Right? These are the 12 tribes right here. Right? God's chosen, God's elect. Going to the book of Revelations, the 7th chapter. Go to the book of Revelations, chapter 7, went on down. And you'll read and you'll see these exact names mentioned. The 144,000, the elect, the black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. Right? That the Lord will redeem. Thus saith the Lord. All praises. Right? So, now, Zaul, now because Joe Biden, he boycotted the Olympics, this is what Zaul said, right? He said that the U.S. is actually, they're hypocrites. Because instead of the U.S. pointing fingers at China, China's pointing the finger back at the U.S., mentioning the Indian Removal Act, right? Let's see what he said. Based on his ideological biases, as well as lies and rumors, the U.S. attempts to interfere with the Beijing Winter Olympics, which will only expose its malicious intention to make it loose more. Which will only expose its malicious intention and make it more loose, and make it lose more moral principles and credibility. Let's read that again. Based on its ideological biases, as well as lies and rumors, the U.S. attempts to interfere with the Beijing Winter Olympics, which will only expose its malicious intention and make it lose more moral principles and credibility, Zhao said. Speaking of genocide, the U.S. fits this label better than anyone else for the evil crimes they committed against Native Americans. So even China knows about that. And this, he's talking about the Indian Removal Act. And this was in it's 2020. It's 2022, and China still remembers what Andrew Jackson did. The law that Andrew Jackson passed in 1830. They still remember that. They still remember what they did to the Native Americans. Right? They still remember. I'm not gonna pull up pictures. I should. Right? And you know what? I just might. because children were being hung by their own umbilical cord. Right? These people had a pit with spikes coming up. They threw people in that. There was so many demonic, heinous acts perpetuated against the tribe of Gad and Reuben, man. Right? It's if you were there, it probably would have been unbearable for you to see. Right? It would have been unbearable. It would have been too much. Right? It's ironic how they spoke about that, because that was a genocide for real. Right? Zhou accused the Biden administration of gravely violating the political neutrality of the Olympics through political posturing and manipulation. Right? Let me see something. Try and get the good stuff. Despite China's insistence that it is not committing egregious human rights violations against Uyghur minorities, more than 40 nations spoke out against the atrocities in a joint statement issued at the United Nations in October. The statement cited credible reports of political re-education camps in Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, where more than 1 million minorities have been held against their will. We have seen an increasing number of reports of widespread and systematic human rights violations, including reports documenting torture or cruel, inhumane, and degrading treatment or punishment, forced sterilization, sexual and gender-based violence, and forced separation of children, the statement read. Right, so China's not all squeaky clean, you know, based on what we just read. Earlier this year, Uyghur, I don't know how to say that. Exiles described the human rights violations being committed against them by the Chinese Communist Party, including forced abortions, killings, torture, rape, enslavement, forced separation of children from their parents, forced sterilization, labor, enforced disappearances, destruction of cultural and religious heritage, persecution, forced marriages, and the and the imposition of Han Chinese men into Uyghur households. Right? And these are credible reports that's going on over there. So, you know, a lot of wickedness going on, right? But the point is, they said the U.S. will pay. Wait and see. The U.S. will pay. Wait and see. I want to do this in order. Right. Let me set up. Shalaki. Right. Another article, right? It says China says it doesn't fear fight with U.S., right? China's bold, man. China's currency is worth more than here in Babylon. China's missiles are a lot stronger than here in Babylon, right? So China says that they don't fear fighting with the U.S. They have there's no doubt in their mind. There's no fear. There's no inch of fear right now with China going to war with Babylon, right? Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said on Monday that China is open to cooperation with the U.S., but is also prepared for and unafraid of a confrontation with the U.S. Unafraid. See that? Unafraid. Some Americans deep in their hearts are reluctant to recognize other countries' right to development, to accept China's growing strength and progress, and to acknowledge that the two countries may work together for mutual benefit, Wang said. They even attempted to gang up with other countries to contain and suppress China. Such wrong words and acts have undermined the interests of the two peoples. Alright. Later in his remarks, Wang said, a certain non-regional power has unveiled an Indo-Pacific strategy to stoke confrontation and create rival blocs in the region, thus causing the greatest impediment to regional peace and stability. A certain non-power has unveiled. Well, whatever that means. But now we're going to get into China and Taiwan. Now we're going to make a transition into Babylon, right? Defending Taiwan against China. Right? Right? Let's get it. Wang went on to criticize provocations relating to Taiwan. Wang attributed tensions around Taiwan to the attempt by the Taiwan authorities to seek American support for independence and the intention of the United States and of very few other countries to use the Taiwan question to contain China. While Taiwan governs itself as an independent nation, China considers the island as part of its territory. I did a whole video on that on my last video. Check it out. Dealing with China and Taiwan. The U.S. has operated an ambiguous relationship toward China and Taiwan. Through the so-called One China principle, the U.S. holds that Taiwan is part of China. At the same time, the U.S. has for decades provided defensive armaments to Taiwan through the Taiwan Relations Act, right? So let's see what the Taiwan Relations Act contains. But the point is, the U.S. knows that Taiwan, right? The U.S. holds that Taiwan is part of China, but yet they're still helping Taiwan fight against China. Really? Like, really? It's like, you know, a dog belongs to somebody, but yet you're keeping it for yourself. Give the dog to its rightful owner. They know that Taiwan's part of China. They know this. But let's see what the Taiwan Relations Act contains, right? Let's get this right through the spirit. Let's see what this is about. This is probably an alliance. right? Right, the Taiwan Relations Act, which was passed in January 1st, 1979. The Taiwan Relations Act is an act to help maintain peace, security, and stability in the Western Pacific and to promote the foreign policy of the United States by authorizing the continuation of commercial, cultural, and other relations between the people of the United States and the people on Taiwan and for other purposes. See that? So, an act to maintain peace, security, and stability, right? Foreign policy of the United States by authorizing the continuation of commercial, cultural, and other relations between. So, authorizing continual cultural. See that, to help maintain peace. Now, how do you how can you protect your house, right? How can you maintain peace and security and stability, right? By forming an alliance, by setting up cameras, by buying guns, right? Ready for war. This is a foreign policy between the United States and Taiwan to maintain peace, security, and stability. See that? And if you want to get into it, you know what I'm saying? This is some good information. Right? Implementation of United States policy with regard to Taiwan, Section 3A. In furtherance of the policy set forth in Section 2 of this Act, the United States will make available to Taiwan such defense articles and defense services in such quantity as may be necessary to enable Taiwan to maintain a sufficient self-defense capability. I'm thinking of war. I'm thinking of, you know, if somebody goes to war, if somebody goes to battle, then they have an alliance, right? This is an alliance. This is an act of an alliance between Taiwan and the United States, right? This was passed in 1979, right? Right, let's go to C. The president is directed to inform the Congress promptly of any threat to the security or the social or economic system of the people on Taiwan, right? And any danger to the interests of the United States arising therefrom. The president and the Congress shall determine, in accordance with constitutional processes, appropriate action by the United States in response to any such danger. So China's trying to take back Taiwan. Taiwan has an alliance with the United States, right? The Taiwan Relations Act. That's why the United States, they are defending Taiwan, because this act was passed in 1979. Right? This is an alliance. Right? Let's see if we can get any more on this. Right? But you guys get the point. Let's get Chinese state media threatens to heavily attack U.S. troops defending Taiwan. And we know why the U.S. troops are defending Taiwan. Because of the Taiwan Relations Act. You see that? And you know, if you know about Russia and Ukraine, you got China and Taiwan, you got Israel and Iran, man. There's so much going on. How can you not know what the hell's going on, man? You gotta keep up, because all of this is gonna lead to World War III, right? We got Russia involved, China involved, Iran is involved. Many, and these aren't small people. These are mighty nations, man. Right? Ready to go to war. Troops are being deployed on borders. Russia has more than 250,000 troops on the border of Ukraine right now. Chinese state media threatens to heavily attack U.S. troops defending Taiwan. Let's get let's see what I want. Try and get the good stuff. If Washington supports the Taiwan authorities' path of seeking secession and encourages the Taiwan authority to rely on it, I'm sorry, hold on. If Washington supports the Taiwan authorities' path of seeking secession and encourages the Taiwan authority, yo, why does this keep moving, man? Damn devil, man. I'm sorry, y'all, hold on. And seeking secession encourages the Taiwan authority to rely on it, then reunification by force will definitely happen. The more the U.S. and the island of Taiwan collude, the sooner reunification by force will come. The Global Times added. So, of course, you know what I'm saying, the devil keeps trying to move my page up and down. But this, you know what I'm saying? China already said a reunification between them and Taiwan must happen. And even by force. So it's either you get down or you lay down. Right? See that? Taiwan is seeking secession. They're seeking independence from China. China's not having it. But Taiwan has an alliance with the United States. Right? But the more the U.S. and the island of Taiwan collude, the sooner reunification by force will come. So again, it's not looking too good. They said reunification by force will happen. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said the U.S. is prepared to defend Taiwan from a Chinese invasion and takeover, saying the Biden administration hopes that scenario never happens. See that? Well, take a look at that and read that. Damn devil keeps playing with my damn. That's fine. That's fine. Right? See that? Read it. Read it. Jake Sullivan, National Security Advisor, man. Right? China has made more vague threats of action toward the U.S., but it is rare to issue such a bold and direct threat against U.S. troops specifically. See that? And China's making these threats because they specifically said they're unafraid to go to war, man. They're unafraid. They're unafraid. Right? Damn devils, man. Right, page going up and down and shit. Messing up my damn... Hey, man, it's fine. But you guys get the point, man. Right? You guys get the point. I'm gonna try and reload this, man. I don't got time for Esau playing with my shit, bro. Damn devil. Right? Let's read one last... Let's read one last paragraph before we move on. Read this part right here. I think I read that already. China conducts near daily warplane flights around Taiwan. So China is sending warplane flights around Taiwan, who governs itself as an independent nation. Taiwan cannot be independent if it's part of China. Even the U.S. knows that. But which China claims as its own territory. Yeah, because Taiwan is part of China. China also conducted live bombing drills on islands in the South China Sea last week as another measure to intimidate and pressure Taiwan. The U.S. has continued its freedom of navigation flights and warship transits in the region to ensure free passage for all nations in the disputed territory, man. So live bombing drills, warplane flights, man. Right? See that? Missiles being tested. Right? Let's get the hold on. Right? Speaking of missiles, China's Sputnik Moment missile test confounds U.S. The hypersonic weapon test, thought to have been conducted by China in July, reported showcased a physics-defying technological leap. The Financial Times reported on Sunday, man. Look. And this, look. So, speaking of Russia and Ukraine, look at this. Ukraine may strike Russia first at West behest. You see that? Russia and Ukraine are neck to neck. China and Taiwan are neck. There's too much going on. Look, NATO preparing for war, Russia claims. Look, right around the corner, man. And y'all worried about your little entrepreneur jobs and shit like that, man. We're not worried about that, man. We want all hell to break loose, man. This is what we want. Let's get that in the book. Right, let's get that in the scriptures. In the book of Joel. For the Lord says to prepare war, man. Right? The book of Joel, the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, man. Let who come up? Let's go to the book of Ezekiel real quick. lucky. Let's get the book of Ezekiel. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, 28th chapter. Let's go down to verse 7. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 28 and verse 6. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, because thou hast set thy heart as the heart of God, behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God? But you shall be a man and no God in the hand of him that slayeth thee. Right? Now the Lord said he's going to send nations against us, right? Terrible nations to bring us down to the pit, right? To destroy our brightness, right? Which is this wisdom, right? But look, the Lord has a judgment for those people. Let's get the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 9. Jeremiah, chapter 50. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9. For lo, I will raise and come up against Babylon, which means Babel, city of confusion, an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Right, and who's her? Babylon. Right, their arrows. What's this arrows? The hypersonic missiles, man. Right. Let's pull this up. Right, these are what we just read. Right, the arrows, the supersonic missiles, man, the hypersonic weapons, right, missiles, right. The Lord's gonna send up nations, even though we're gonna die as men. The Lord has an appointed judgment for those nations who are gonna destroy us, right. The Lord's going to destroy us and then have the nations destroy each other. The Lord's going to put his spirit on these nations to do that, man. And that's through the prophecy of these scriptures, man. See that? That's through the scriptures. Right? Scientists at the Pentagon's DARPA research agency are apparently still trying to figure out how China's hypersonic glide vehicle, a type of nuclear capable maneuverable spacecraft, was able to fire another missile mid-flight, according to a Financial Times report on Sunday. Noting that no other country has demonstrated this capability, the paper reported that there was no consensus among military experts as to the purpose of the missile, which was directed into the South China Sea. Some apparently believe it was an air-to-air projectile, while others think it was a countermeasure against missile defense systems that would target the HGV. Right? Meanwhile, the U.S. National Security Council said it was preparing to defend and deter against the range of threats. An unnamed spokesperson for the White House body told the paper that the advance should be concerning to all who seek peace and stability in the region and beyond. See that? Look, we are not at all interested in having an arms race with other countries. The U.S. has in recent years been fabricating excuses like the China threat to justify its arms expansion and development of hypersonic missiles, right? Now, China, of course, they're denying these hypersonic weapons tests. I mean, they're not going to say that they're testing it. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of playing it low. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of being they're being low key with it, right? But they know what they're doing, you know. But just in case something does happen, you know what I'm saying? Please and believe they are testing these weapons, especially if they want Taiwan, right? They want a reunification with Taiwan, and to do that, you know what I'm saying? Missiles are gonna have to be tested, right? So certain things are gonna have to happen, right, to get this reunification manifested, right? There has to be a manifestation of this reunification between China and Taiwan. After General Mark Milley, the chairman of the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff, described China's weapons test as nearly a Sputnik moment last month, U.S. officials have voiced public concerns about a capability gap between China and the U.S. relating to hypersonic weapons. Over the weekend, a top U.S. Space Force general warned that the country has some catching up to do very quickly with the Chinese and Russian hypersonic weapons programs. Last month, a Russian submarine successfully test-fired the Zircon hypersonic missile, which is considered cutting-edge technology since the missile's high speed and ability to change direction mid-flight makes it nearly impossible to track and intercept. Right, all praises to Yahweh, man, and this is all part of the Lord's work, man. Right, this is all part of the Lord's work. Now, let's bring out let's see what the word Sputnik means first of all, right? Because them, you know what I'm saying, Babylon had no idea that these missiles were even invented, right? They had no idea that such missiles were even invented. A Russian artificial satellite. What the heck? Sputnik means any of a series of Earth orbiting satellites launched. What the heck? Alright, well, whatever that means. Sputnik. Probably because of how far it went. Probably. Being that it's way out of space or whatever. But anyways, I want to get this, speaking of Russia's submarine, let me get this article real quick. Let's get submarine. Putin's threat. Russia launches largest nuclear-capable submarine in 30 years, right? Speaking of the submarine, the submarine will have nuclear firepower capability and will be able to sabotage seabed internet cables that could undermine other nations' communication systems. NATO fears the submersible, right, will be used in the Arctic and North Atlantic to guard Russia's sovereignty claims. The giant new nuclear submarine will be used in open waters for the first time. That's what they're talking about in this article right here. Last month, a Russian submarine successfully test-fired the Zircon hypersonic missile, which is considered a cutting-edge technology since the missile's high speed and ability to change direction mid-flight makes it nearly impossible to track and intercept. See that? Right, and speaking of Putin, right, you got Russian, let's get Russia and China real quick, man. I got two articles real quick for y'all, man. Right? You know I got it, man. You know I got it for you. Right? And Russia and China, they've been elbow to elbow, man. Right? See this? Elbow to elbow. China, Russia officials meet and show up unity against EU and US. Look at that. Russia, China, elbow to elbow. What the hell's going on here? See that? See that? I don't give a damn about that. Look, elbow to elbow. Unification, right? This is called unity, right? And take a good look. See that? Mighty. Putin brags. Oh my God, bro! These damn devils, bro. Crazy. Putin brags Russia's new hypersonic missiles could wipe out U.S. cities, sparking World War III fears. Vladimir Putin revealed that Russia's nuclear missiles travel 5 times faster than America's. But thankfully, he said that nobody is under direct threat from the new super technology. 5 times faster, man. Right? Let's get it. Let's get the visuals. Right? Let's get the visuals. that? The visuals. Alright, you guys got the visuals. Let's read. Vladimir Putin made a terrifying boast this week, saying that Russia has supersonic nuclear missiles that are on alert, quote unquote, on alert and capable of destroying cities in the U.S. Speaking at an energy forum in Moscow, the Russian leader also said that its intercontinental weapons can travel five times faster than those being developed in America. He bragged with pride. This is not just a hypersonic. This is an intercontinental. This is not just a hypersonic. This is an intercontinental missile, right? This is much more serious. This is a much more serious weapon than you just said, and they are already on alert in Russia. Weapons with the speed of Mach 3 or more are being developed in the United States. Our systems fly at a speed of over Mach 20. See that? Your boy. Look at your boy. And we know Russia don't play, man. Right? We don't underestimate these nations, because the Lord created these nations, man. The Lord created these nations. Right? Going back to Jeremiah chapter 50. Jeremiah 50 verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of an expert. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. See that? Verse 13, because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished, and hiss at all her plagues. Right? Verse 18, therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land as I have punished the king of Assyria. Right? And that's how the Lord's doing it, man. Right? Through Putin, right? Russia, China, right? Hypersonic missiles. Right, now back to China and Taiwan. Right, China's message is clear. If you hit us, we will hit back harder. The economic and diplomatic crackdown by Beijing on a small EU country demonstrates how tough it is willing to be against those who defy it over Taiwan. So China's gonna fight against anybody who decides to help Taiwan. Right? Because they want their reunification. They need that. They want Taiwan. Taiwan is not going down with the fight. China's not going down with the fight. But Taiwan cannot be compared to China, because Taiwan is just an island at the end of the day. It's just an island, right? And we're gonna touch on this in a minute. Right? We're gonna go back to that. Let's hold on. Alright. Making sure we're still live. Okay, we're still live. One of the most notable political dramas of 2021 has been China's showdown with Lithuania, following the Baltic countries' declaration that would open a Taiwan representative office in his country. Beijing denounced it as a violation of its one China policy, specifically over the use of the word Taiwan as opposed to Taipei, which it usually tolerates. All right, let's see what we want here, man. Let's get the let's try and get the good stuff. All right. Talking about Lithuania and stuff. I don't know. Alright. Is China prepared for a fight over its position on Taiwan? Yes. There should be no doubt about it. It's made that abundantly clear this year. It's the European Union willing and ready to unite completely against its largest trading partner when it is already in a fragile economic situation. No way. So the EU is not willing to reunite. The EU is not willing to unite completely, right, against its largest trading partner in China. But I have an article, right, that substantiates this. Is the European Union willing and ready to unite completely against its largest trading partner when it is already in a fragile economic situation? No way. But they actually are. Because your boy Biden signs limited China trade ban. U.S. President Joe Biden has signed into law a bill that effectively bans all imports of goods sourced fully or in part from China's Xinjiang province. The measure is touted as combating forced labor. See that? So now, limited imports of goods are now going to come from China. Limited. Right? Thanks to your boy, Mr. Biden. See that? Xinjiang is a major producer of cotton, agricultural products like tomatoes and polysilicon, a key component of solar panels. The Muslim majority Chinese province also has a strategically important location bordering a number of countries, from Russia in the north to Afghanistan in the west to India in the south. Critics of China have long been accusing Beijing of suppressing ethnic minorities living in Xinjiang through mass surveillance and incarceration, coercive birth control, and forced labor, accusing the Chinese government of an attempted genocide. Commenting on Biden's signing of the new legislation, Senator Marco Rubio, who co-introduced the bill in January, called it the most important and impactful action taken thus far by the United States to hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable for their use of slave labor. It will fundamentally change our relationship with Beijing. Right? China says its policies in the anonymous region successfully curbed radical Islamist ideology and help lift people out of poverty. The accusations of persecution Beijing officials insist are lies meant to justify unilateral measures adopted by the U.S. as part of its great power competition against China. Liu Pinggu, A spokesman for the Chinese embassy in the U.S. called the new law a severe violation of international law and norms of international relations. He called on Washington to stop using Xinjiang to spread lies, interfere in China's internal. Oh my gosh. Let's read this again. Liu Penggu, a spokesman for the Chinese embassy in the U.S., called the new law a severe violation of international law and norms of international relations. He called on Washington to stop using Xinjiang to spread lies, interfere in China's internal affairs, and contain China's development, and said Beijing will respond to the move. Critics of the law say the U.S. is acting hypocritically. Critics of the law say the U.S. is acting hypocritically regarding Xinjiang. They argue that the clear benefactors of the import ban are U.S. cotton producers and defense contractors who happen to stand behind vocal accusations against Beijing over the alleged use of slave labor. They argue that the clear benefactors of the import ban They argue that the clear benefactors of the import ban are U.S. cotton producers. So we know that everything comes from China. Xinjiang is a major producer of cotton, right? And agricultural products like tomatoes, polysilicon, silicone, a key component of solar panels, man. So if limited bans are going to be, if goods are going to be limited coming from China, I mean, you can only imagine what's going to happen next. Right? Because we're already low on food. Right? Truck drivers are not coming in with the foods. I did a whole video on that also. Dealing with the food inflation. Right? There's what you would call it, there's a low supply of food coming in. Right, Costco is now giving people a certain amount of food, giving customers a certain amount of supplies to buy, such as toilet paper, milk, water, whatever. Because people are greedy. People like to take everything, but now you are limited on what you can and cannot buy. So Biden, with this China trade ban, limited cotton is coming in, potatoes, polysilicon, things like that, and much, much more, man. All these goods being imported from China are now being limited, which means what? You're probably not going to see as much as clothes. Right, stores are going to be out of business because clothes are not coming in like that, because China is the major producer in cotton. So the amount of clothes that's being limited. So clothes like maybe Ross, Marshalls, and other stores, you know what I'm saying, maybe out of business, maybe going for foreclosure. You never know. This can go a long way because we know everything comes from China, right? And now all of a sudden there's a ban now, right? There's a limited supply of goods being imported from China with this ban. Make sure I'm not missing anything else. Hey man, something to really think about. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 9. A hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. Isaiah chapter 9 verse 17. Therefore the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For everyone is a hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. And when it says, neither will the Lord have mercy on their fatherless and widows, this is a precept to the book of Isaiah. Psalms, dealing with Esau. Right, and this is all these acts, everything you see going on, this is the Lord. The Lord is running out of love, as you see. Since Christians love to say he's so full of love, the Lord's not. The Lord is looking. The Lord is running out of love, as you see, as you can clearly see, right? Psalms. Let's get Psalms 109 and 7. Right? Psalms 109:7. When he shall be judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer become sin. Let his days be few, and let another take his office. Let his children be fatherless, and his wife a widow. Talking about Esau, right? Verse 10. Let his children be continually vagabonds and beg. Let them seek their bread also out of their desolate places. Right? Who else did the Lord call a vagabond, right? He called Cain a vagabond for killing his brother. Genesis 4:12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. This is what the Lord told Cain. Cain has still yet to pay for what he did to Abel by killing his brother. The same spirit that Esau had for Israel, Jacob, right? Because Esau hated his brother, man. See that? And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I could bear. See, the Lord told Cain this for what he did to his brother Esau. His brother Abel. He is going to be a fugitive and a vagabond. So when the Lord said in the book of Psalms, chapter 107 on down, he says, let his children be fatherless and let his wife be a widow. Right? Genesis chapter 4 verse 14. Behold, thou hast driven me of this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And that mark was taking away his melanin. See that? Now he has leprosy. See that? See that? And Esau has that same hatred for his brother, man. Right? Right? Book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. See that? So Esau has that same spirit that Cain had. Right? Now guess what? That's why the Lord said in the book of Psalms 109 verse 7. Right? Right? The Lord put these spirits back on earth, man. Let's get 1 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 7. Or 2 Thessalonians. Damn, bro. It's crazy, man. Damn nose and shit, man. God damn. It's the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 1 and verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that hate you, and to you who are troubled, rest with us when the Lord Jesus shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels, in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not God, and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power, when he shall come to be glorified in his saints and to be admired in all that believe, because of our testimony among you was believed in that day. Wherefore also we pray always for you, that our God will count you worthy of this calling, and fulfill all the good pleasure of his goodness, and the work of faith with power, that the name of our Lord Jesus Christ may be magnified in you and ye in him, according to the grace of our God and the Lord Jesus Christ, forever and ever. Amen. And with that, it's your boy King Hebrew. Lord willing, you guys were edified. I definitely enjoyed this video, sharing the articles, man, linking up with the precepts, quick breakdowns. Lord willing, you guys were edified. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach. To Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach, one Malak Yahweh Shai, it's your boy King Hebrew. Pray for faith, strength, and courage. Pray for each other. Stay in the spirit. Spread the word. I love y'all. Shalom.